Good morning. Happy Valentine's Day. You know, I'm thinking every Friday I'm going to bring you something from Song of Solomon to just open that book up to you and just show you how wonderful Jesus is. Um, it's Valentine's Day, and I'm as I was thinking about it yesterday, what I was going to share. I remembered how much I enjoyed teaching chapter 5. You know, the daughters of Jerusalem, the immature believers, they were saying, what is so special about your beloved? And here's what she comments, and she's giving 10 points about how wonderful her beloved is. My beloved is white and ruddy, chief among 10,000. His head is like the finest gold, his locks are wavy, and black as a raven. His eyes are like doves by the rivers of water, washed with milk and fitly set. His cheeks are like the bed of spices, banks of scented herbs. His lips are lilies, dripping liquid myrrh. His hands are rods of gold set with burr. His body is carved ivory inlaid with sapphires. His legs are pillars of marble set on bases of fine gold. His countenance is like Lebanon, excellent as the cedars. His mouth is most sweet. Yes, he is altogether lovely. This is my beloved, and this is my friend, O daughters of Jerusalem. You know, she's talking to the immature believers because they haven't found out how wonderful her beloved is. And so here she's giving 10 points. She's describing 10 points about her beloved. His head, this speaks of his leadership over all. And she said he's white. White means pure. You know, this is pure leadership. This is pure love coming from leadership. He's chief among 10,000. When the Bible talks about 10,000, it's talking about a huge number. He's chief about so many you can't count them all. His locks, that speaks of his dedication to God. Remember Samson, he couldn't cut his hair because the locks represented the Nazarene vow of dedication to God. So his locks, his hair, his dedication to God and his dedication to the church, his eyes, his infinite knowledge, his wisdom, his understanding, his discernment, his cheeks. This is his emotional makeup. Jesus is emotional about us. He loves us. He cares about us. He wept. You know, his lips, this is speaking of his word, the spoken word, the words of Jesus. You know, what I think is awful is there was I'm not going to stop there because I'm going to get off track. His hands, this talks about his divine activity, his activity that comes from his hand, you know, and whatever he puts his hands to will prosper. This speaks of all of his works. They're absolutely wonderful. His body, this is speaking of his tender compassion. His legs, this is his walk. His administration of his purposes. You know, in Revelation chapter 2 and 3, Jesus is walking among the churches. He's inspecting all of them. Selah on that one. His countenance, this is speaking about his impartation to his people. His mouth, that's our intimacy with them. You can speak with them. He wants to speak with them. He says, I know my sheep and I call them all by name. And it says he's altogether lovely. Everything about our beloved is lovely. And then she ends with, I love this. This is my beloved and this is my friend. What a wonderful Valentine's gift that the Lord has given to us. He's given us how God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him shall never perish, but have everlasting life. I love the stories about when Jesus appears to someone that is hurting. When Jesus comes in a dream, and he's real in the dream. And, you know, right now, Jesus is coming before many Muslim people. You know, the first ever appearance of the angel of the Lord, and this was the incarnate Jesus. He came to Hagar when she was in the wilderness, and so Jesus is coming before many Muslim people. But come before the Lord today. Just read over, goodness, read over chapter 5, 10 through 16. And I'm going to put that on my blog today, just kind of bring out the whole thing, because I did do this in my book that I did years ago, Song of Songs. It is now on thumb drive, and I go line upon line, break down every single word, every single verse. I have the CDs or the thumb drive of everything in it. But I just want to wish you a happy Valentine's Day, and just chew on that for the weekend. Amen. God bless you. Bye-bye.